I know my last shop update, if I managed to get it up on time, said that was going to be my last video before I go because I don't have a lot of time and I'm leaving soon. And that's true. But I did finish this box yesterday morning, as you saw at the end of that video. Maple and walnut with a lacewood top. It slides. And then I added that rare earth magnet to the bottom of this and to the top right there to keep the top from sliding off. So I left the sides thick so I would have room for it. Now the problem is that once it was done, as hopefully you see in this picture here, I remember to put it up, it was a very large, blocky, heavy box. So I decided to do some experimentation. I saw a guy uploaded a jewelry box where he'd cut coves in the sides. And if you've seen any videos, this is not a video on cutting coves. Essentially what you do is set your nice crafted box on a dirty table saw tabletop and have nowhere to go with it. So to cut a cove, you would take your saw blade and then you would put a fence on it this way and you would run the wood across it this way, getting that relief cut, that contour cut into the face of the board as it goes across it diagonally. Okay. I didn't want to do that with this one. I wanted to try something different. I came up with this design here, and a lot of people have asked me how I came up with it or how I made it, what hand planes I used, stuff like that. Okay, so this is going to be a real quick how-to on how I did that because my battery's dying, like always, and my camera's probably skipping, like always. Thank you, GoPro. So hopefully I'm fast enough that you'll be able to see what I'm doing. The first cut I made was this bottom step here, and the way I did that was I angled my blade to the angle I felt was pleasing. I just kind of looked at it and dialed it up to something I liked the look of. And then with my dovetails, it's easy to see how thick the wood is. I raised the height of the blade so that I knew it was not going to go through the maple. Okay, so I set that angle and then I raised the blade until it was a distance into that maple that I was comfortable with, because ultimately that's what it's going to be cutting through. Okay, so we're going to do that with this piece of 2x4 here. All right, we'll do through the whole process using that 2x4, and I'll show you what we did. What I did it all myself. Work alone. Okay, blade up, adjust the angle until it's something you like. Okay, remember now we're cutting that bottom step. So to cut that bottom step, I ran this box across it this way. That's how I cut that step there, okay? So, just like this. So, set your fence to the height you want. We're right there. Start it up, make sure you're safe. Alright, so now we've got, this is the end of the box, this is the outside, this is the inside. So now I got that cut that I want right now. That's my bottom step down here. In order to carve this piece out, all I'm going to do is place the box upside down, and I'm going to raise the iron, okay? Or the blade, sorry, I've been around hand planes too much. Okay? As you see, you got a lot of blade here, it gets very dangerous. Okay, dial it back. You just want the top of this blade to meet the apex of that cut you made right there. So it's going to cut down like this. Okay? And you're going to have to readjust your blade angle now because it's going to be different. Get over here, eyeball it, get it right where you want it, lock it in. Alright, like I said, this is very dangerous because you've got all that blade sticking up now. I don't remember it being this tall when I did it the first time. Okay, bring your fence over. A little more. Alright, so now I've looked down the blade and I've matched the blade up with the top of that right there, the top of this cut, so the deepest part. So if you're not perfect, then you got something a little bit different, okay? So let's go ahead and make the second cut here. This is where a cabinet grade table saw with a zero clearance insert comes in really handy. Okay. So that's it. And I think this actually came out better than what it did on the box. That is that side now. So this one I cut in a little bit deeper. When I did the box, I didn't cut in as deep. So the taper, this downward taper, started about right here. So this top portion of my box is square. I'll bring it over there and we can see. Okay. Oh, sorry for the bad camera. Okay, so this portion here is still square, straight up and down, and then the taper starts here. So just, that's it right there, okay? And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is how to smooth that out with, the last thing I want to talk about real quick is how to clean off your burn marks or any saw marks you might have on there. This one did pretty good. The maple and the walnut had a little bit of burn marks on there, okay? So, you know, obviously this is what I tried to use. But you've got a problem, as you may be able to see in this video. The iron ends here, which gives me over 1/4 of an inch of unplayed wood to the right of it. Okay, so as I go through, the iron's cutting down and creating steps on both sides. This side is easy. I just move my plane over, I take that step off, but this step remains. What ends up happening is the plane won't go any deeper. So it'll be glass smooth here, and then you'll have a step, and then just all your rough, untouched stuff will still be here. And then the same thing will happen here. Like you can see right there that it's not even gonna plane 1/8 of an inch off of that side. Okay, so how do we get around that? Ideally, you would have some sort of rebate plane, whether it's a number 10, a 10 1/4, a 10 1/2, or a rabbing block plane. Rabbing block planes are probably a lot more common. Stanley number 10s are fairly expensive. This one I actually got from Australia. Not sure if you can see that or not. But the problem is, these pieces are missing. And as the wise viewer has noticed, this is not the iron that goes to it. The iron that goes to this is a hammerhead shape that fills out these openings on the sides and is specifically designed for stuff like this, where I'm planing all the way up to that groove. So unfortunately this one was not an option yet. I haven't fixed it up yet. The 78 rabbit plane that I've already done a video on, okay, was my solution. That was my fallback, okay? So I planed the center here, which created that step. I then took this one and then planed that step down. So it's right here, advance the iron. Okay, right now that's just cutting out the little notches just created from the saw blade cutting it, but so you get the idea. I don't know, a lot of battery to be wasted on this, but so just knock that foot down, smooth some more if you need to, knock the foot down, and then ultimately, no, this isn't a finish plane. This isn't a smoothing plane. It's going to give you a glass surface. So it may not. You're probably going to have to sand it. This one will get that shoulder all day long, as well as any shoulder planes as well. So hopefully I didn't have any issues with this camera, and this all made sense to you. Okay, so be very careful using a table saw. Angle your blade, cut that bottom step, raise your blade up, sight down in line. Okay, it's like you're shooting a rifle. You look across that blade and you look for the peak of that cut. Angle it, set your fence to where you want it, run that second pass. That's the same thing I did with this. I cut it again, and then I stood it like this because this was rounded last. Just set it on its top, sight it, do the same thing, all 4 sides. Well, do one side, do this side, then move your fence, and then do this side and this side, or the other way around. Depends on which order you want to go in. Obviously, you have to move the fence to get these. So, hopefully that worked. Go make your own, and if you do, You know, I haven't done a project where I've asked for that yet. If you do make one, please message me or post it on the Facebook page. I'd like to see that. And have fun.